Okay, cool. Well, I will review my questions just so I don't get lost. But basically, again, like I said, we'd be starting with the idea that I have a MetaMask Ethereum wallet. I could have received money to that wallet from clients, crypto trading, etc. And now I'm going to be interacting with Hinkal, right? So like my first question kind of starts basic. So when you talk about self-custody, I think trustless. So my first question would be, what kind of risk exists for me as a user of Hinkal?
Yeah, the only risk that exists is the smart contract risk, right? And to cover smart contract risk, smart contract is already 3 years old. It was 5 times audited by top cybersecurity firm. We use Hexagate, as I mentioned, with chain analysis to prevent any interventions, right, into smart contract. So basically everything that is possible, we are doing this to make sure that smart contract risk is minimized.
Okay, excellent. My next question is regarding the viewing key. I just want to make sure I understood that right. Is this viewing key customizable? So let's say I have 100 ETH, but I'm trying to verify to someone that I have just 10 ETH. Can I just show them that knowledge only?
Yes, so with viewing key, you're able to prove any sort of statement about your assets. This is partial revelation, and second is a full revelation when you give viewing key to the essentially government or some entity for full access. Of course, the first option is much preferred.
Got it, perfect. Also, if you could do some general comparisons to Tornado Cash, because that's where I first was really learning about privacy. I think of basically you shoot 100 Ethereum into a cloud, right? And it rains down all this Ethereum in different places later, and they don't know which wallet it went into, right? What my question would be is, let's say there was just one user of your wallet, right? And I sent $10,000 worth of ETH to it, and then I withdrew it. Obviously, it'd be very obvious, where it came from at that point. So is your privacy dependent on the number of users, or is there some other kind of factors involved when people see the on and off ramping? And how many users do you have, I guess?
Yes, so for comparison with Tornado Cash, I wouldn't directly compare with Tornado Cash. I would rather compare it with Zcash, not because I'm scared of comparing with Tornado Cash, but the structure is different. Tornado Cash used off-chain nodes for every deposit, and it didn't have this UTXO system behind it. It's more rather than Zcash, which has this UTXO system. We try to generalize this UTXO system with respect to Ethereum with any sort of transaction. And yes, in terms of anonymity, the level of anonymity, it depends on the anonymity set of the system, which depends not only on the volume, but also on total value locked in the system. So both parameters are important.
And what is your TVL right now?
So after we redeployed contracts around 3 months ago, our TVL is 1,200,000.
Yeah, it's 1,200,000.
Oh, cool, excellent. I'll use a local example here, GE Crypto. So that's a local exchange that they do USDT withdrawals, or you can trade fiat to USDT. So basically, like an example, if I have this wallet, like I said in the example, and I'm trying to withdraw money, I could be an American citizen, I could be a Georgian citizen, right? I can go to them and I can withdraw funds as USDT. My question would be, if this wallet I use as an intermediary, Hinkal, for example, would it would basically make private that particular wallet, and then I could withdraw to them. And at that point, I could claim it as crypto gains, I could claim it as business income, but it would be private, and I'd be able to basically trust that it would be secure.
Yeah, so for centralized exchange to enable withdrawal directly to smart contract, it should have some connection there, right? To build some custom connections, such as it's not just regular transfer, right? It's a deposit function. So if centralized exchange has this function, you can directly withdraw to your private address inside Hinkal. Yes.
Perfect. My last question, and this is very much about your ethos, how do you define a hacker? Because if I understood the Merkle tree example, as well as I can, It sounds like if someone were to, for example, during DeFi summer, we had a lot of people like hacking smart contracts, right? I know the pickle finance hack, they literally swapped a pickle jar and took like millions of dollars, you know? So like my question is, obviously we want to stop bad actors like that. I'm not against that at all. But what do you define as a hacker? If like the US government were to come and say, oh, we don't like Fry, we don't like the cut of his jib, we don't think he's paying his taxes or something like that, would you cut off my example, me from my Merkle tree, my access to my wallet or something? At what point do you do this?
No, we cannot cut out anyone, actually. You know, it's a privacy that is uninterruptible by us, right? And for this, right, as I described here, so we implemented few mechanics, such as first, you prove with ZK-TLS, right, that you have centralized exchange account, and then the problem is, okay, like if the centralized exchange belongs to you, right, the government can actually checks, okay, like this guy logged in centralized exchange to prove to Hinkal. I mean, we don't have this data, but like this potentially is accessible by, you know, someone who is, you know, going after, in case, you know, Coinbase or Binance or, you know, any other centralized exchanges are actively willing to cooperate, though, right, this ZK proof is fully private, right? We don't know who proved that, you know, this transaction belongs to them, right? Or like that they have 1 million of assets inside Hinkal. So that's one. And second, we have also on-chain analytics here, right? So with chain analysis, we are able, like, if this swap happened in a moment, right, and it became red flagged, it immediately triggers our analytics, right? So you're not able to deposit these assets into Hinkal. And of course, right, none of the systems, I believe, is perfect, right? So you can still have the same type of transaction from the regular bank, and then, you know, like, of course, banks also try to coordinate with, you know, with the governments requesting the access, right? But what can they do if money is not there anymore?
Right.
Probably nothing, right?
Makes sense. Okay. No, that was all my questions. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Great questions.